Please welcome the Baker University Provost, Dr. Brian Posler.
Good morning, and welcome to the Academic Convocation for Fall 2015. I'm so pleased to have so many here in attendance, both in the hall but also live streaming across all the schools of Baker University. I'm especially grateful for the attendance of so many of our trustees who give of their time to lead this great institution of higher learning. I'd like to ask now that current and former trustees please stand so that we can recognize you. It's also appropriate to recognize our decorated faculty who labor so hard to help so many of our students. Faculty of Baker, will you please rise and be recognized as well? Our convocation is earlier this year, allowing us to reflect on the arrival of the fall term and new beginnings. As a political scientist, I feel compelled to note that it appears that the U.S. presidential campaigns are not just beginning, but already in full swing, and those seem to come earlier with each cycle as well. In this crazy presidential election season where, incredibly, Donald Trump seems to be leading in the early polls for the Republican nomination, I'm more taken with the idea that this could end up being a race between a Clinton and a Bush. Are we prepared for 1992 again? Some of you weren't born in 1992, but 1992 was kind of a rough year. Unemployment was at 7.5%. Rodney King was beaten by police, which led to racial upheaval and riots in major cities. The U.S. invaded and got mired in Somalia, attempting to provide humanitarian relief to an area ravaged by violence and famine. The Mall of America opened, leading some to predict that the excessive commercialism and greed of the 80s would soon lead to the end of civilization as we know it. Of course, the Cold War officially ended between the U.S. and Russia that year, and Eric Clapton and Pearl Jam did unplug, so not all was bad about 1992. So perhaps, maybe we are ready for a Clinton versus Bush repeat. This modern take on possible political dynasties reminds me of perhaps the greatest political dynasty in American history, the Addams family. Not that Addams family with Morticia and Cousin It, but John Adams and his family. Before the Bushes and the Roosevelts, there was John and Sam and John's son, John Quincy Adams, the first direct relative of a president to himself become president. John Quincy Adams was a famous diplomat, Secretary of State, prior to ascending to the presidency. He was the first diplomat sent to Russia as minister. He drafted the Monroe Doctrine and, interestingly, returned to the Congress after his presidency, where he became a leading voice advocating for the abolition of slavery. So why is the provost talking about John Quincy Adams at this august academic convocation nearly 2 centuries later? Well, John Quincy Adams was also an academic who understood well the value of these traditions and the importance of the work that we do on our campuses. He had served as a college professor of logic at Brown and then of oratory at Harvard. He was a strong advocate for creation of what would eventually become known as the Smithsonian Institution, that amazing repository of human knowledge. He understood the value of the liberal arts as the core of student success, regardless of profession. He once famously stated that I must study politics and war, that my sons may study mathematics and philosophy, in order to give their children the right to study painting, poetry, music, and architecture. The liberal arts are both a means and the end. The true test of a society is whether it can educate its citizens and equip them to live fully. To live fully means that they are actualized humans, enjoying the humanities and the arts while also being prepared for the practicalities of living. This does not discount the importance of learning a profession. Believe me, your parents certainly want you to be self-sufficient and not live in their basements. But the liberal arts will not only prepare you for professional success, they will also prepare you for a personal life of meaning and value. This is why all of our academic programs at all schools across Baker University have at their center a core of the liberal arts. Now, you have a rare opportunity before you, students. Simply by being a college student today, you have a privilege not afforded to the vast majority of souls on this planet. Relish your studies. Let them bring you joy this year. With that joy, though, comes additional responsibilities. Don't transform yourself and then live selfishly. Pick up those responsibilities that come with such noble pursuits and use your new skills and knowledge to improve the world around you. That is what we do in the Academy. If you allow it, we will transform you into that sort of person, prepared to live your life and enhance the lives of others. So, have a great year with your studies, good luck, and may God bless your work at Baker University.